Hey everyone, and welcome in. We are right at the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today for the vLex Fastcase overview. Hopefully for many of you, this is a refresher, but even if it is your very first time accessing the platform, you're in the right place. We'll start from the very beginning, from logging in, and then get into some great details on searching and navigating in the platform. But first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is TJ. I am a customer success representative with vLex, and I want you to think of me as a personal resource to you. So any questions or feedback you have on the platform, happy to provide answers to you or relay that feedback to our team so we can consistently improve upon the product going forward. Now, I will be sharing my personal contact information along with our support team's contact information. So going forward, you can get in contact with us and get the information you need. Now, I always like doing the State Bar of Wisconsin webinars, mostly because I was actually born in Wisconsin, up in the Minocqua area, if anyone is familiar with that area. But always happy to do the webinars for the State Bar of Wisconsin. Now let's go ahead and get into a little bit of a background on vLex and Fastcase. So these two companies came together back in April of 2023, and these are two trailblazing companies, both vLex and Fastcase. And although they originate from different parts of the world, we share a common mission, and that is to democratize access to the law. But we also aim to revolutionize how attorneys engage with legal information. Now, vLex was created in Spain in 1998 and Fastcase here in the United States in 1999. But from the very beginning, both companies recognized that the law should be accessible to everyone and not just those with successful practices or deep pockets. And while our mission was aligned, the challenge still remained for us: how could we bring that vision to life? And the answer that we found was in the heart of the legal community with bar associations. Whether it's a local, specialty, or state, bar associations are the unifying thread that connects attorneys across the globe. And by partnering with these associations, we found the perfect channel to reach legal professionals everywhere. And if you fast forward now 25 plus years later, we have over 3 million attorneys worldwide with direct access to their country's legal resources thanks to this strategic partnership. And this is where you come into the story. Our mission is not just about providing access. We want to empower you by putting the law directly in your hands with the tools to find that law. So today we invite you to become a part of that journey, a journey that started with a shared vision to democratize the law and continues with you at its center. And speaking of journeys, let's take a look at our agenda for today and look at the journey that we'll embark upon together here, starting with the member login. So as I mentioned, even if it's your very first time, we'll start right from the bar webpage where you can log in and access the member benefit. But then once we are in the platform, we'll look at our resource center, cover the training materials and information that you can utilize to educate yourself on navigating the different aspects of the platform. Then we'll look at our search features. We have a few different search options. We can browse, we can generally search, and then we can also use our advanced search features. So I'll be covering all of those in detail so we can get the most out of the platform. But then I'll also be highlighting our organizational tools as we come across them in the platform in the different areas, so you can remain efficient and organized with your research. But then we'll also get into the document level as well. So we'll take a look at a case and break down the tools and ways you can stay organized and make notes in the document level. Now, any questions? So any questions that you have, feel free to go ahead and pose those in the questions channel. You should have the ability to enter your questions there. And I will answer as many questions as I can, depending on our time frame here, but I will leave about 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the presentation today to address any questions you might have. So with that, let's go ahead and jump over to the bar website here at wizbar.org. And here we are on the home page, and the first step is really just logging in. So go ahead and log into the bar website here, and then you'll be able to access the legal resources section here. You can actually go ahead and click on that already, but if you do, it's going to ask you to go ahead and log in. So again, just go ahead and use your bar credentials to log into the State Bar of Wisconsin webpage, and then you'll be able to find a list of legal resources with vLex Fastcase listed up at the top. Now, once you've clicked on the vLex Fastcase button, you will then be directed over to the vLex Fastcase platform. And this is actually not the first page that you'll see. You're actually going to have, if it is your first time, that is, when you logged into the research platform, you will have an onboarding screen that asks you for your name and email address and a little bit more about your practice area. And that's just so we can customize the account to you specifically. But once that's completed, it will take less than a minute or so to finish onboarding. You will then land here on our home page, and you'll see the Get Started button will actually expand here. It'll say hello to you, your name there, and then you'll be able to get into some resources here. So this is our guided tours section up at the top, where we've got some click-through tutorials to help you start navigating in the platform here, and you will be able to dismiss this. We are going through these today, so we'll go through all of these steps. So if you feel confident in your ability to set up your account and search in the platform and navigate the results, then you can easily just dismiss the checklist at any point. Now, I mentioned that vLex was created in Spain, so they have largely been focused on the global markets, Europe and Asia, and producing content surrounding those areas, whereas Fastcase was always focused here in the US and building out content in the US. So we've added this Content Explorer link here if you're interested in finding what content we have access to through vLex. It's actually one of the largest legal databases in the world, but you can navigate to any of our different continents here or areas across the world and find specific content that is included in each of those countries if you wanted to explore that. Now, under our Content Explorer here is our guided tours. So just a continuation of these guided tours here. You can find more of them under this section. But now, in my opinion, the best way to self-educate and find helpful resources with navigating the vLex Fastcase platform is going to be on our knowledge base website here. And you do have the ability to search for specific articles right here in the knowledge base on our resource center. For example, maybe we wanted to find more about advanced searching in the platform. What we can do is search for that by typing in what feature or what aspect you want to learn more about. And that's going to populate a list of relevant articles here for you to then navigate to our knowledge base webpage. So that's going to open up a new tab on your browser here. And you can see we've landed right on the advanced search page where we can read about that feature. We've got some screenshots there. We've also got some clips. And even at the very bottom of this page, we have a video walkthrough tutorial on how to conduct that feature. So a great resource here for you to rely on. And even over on the left-hand side of this, you have a table of contents where you can find other features as well. So you can continue researching and learning how to conduct certain features by navigating through the table of contents, or even just generally searching up here in the top right of the knowledge base website. And you can get here from the web directly. So if you wanted to go to support.vlex.com, that'll take you to our homepage here for vLex, where you can then start navigating and finding features that you want to learn more about. Then underneath our knowledge base section here, we have some live training sessions. These are all hosted by myself or co-hosted by myself. So if you wanted to join me again in the future for additional webinars, we've got a few different types. We've got one that's going to be identical to the one we're doing today, except it's not going to be specific to the State Bar of Wisconsin account. It's a general overview, so all of our bar partners across the US, bar members can join us for that. We have a few different dates and times that you can register for through that link here. And then we also have an advanced searching webinar. It's a little bit shorter format just to help you get the most out of efficiently searching in the vLex Fastcase platform. So if you wanted to join me for one of those, also a great resource. You can register for those. Again, different dates and times that we've offered those, and you can register right here from the Resource Center. And then lastly, we provided another webinar here just to inform you of some of the ways you can upgrade your account plans in vLex Fastcase as well. So we'll cover the what is included in the State Bar of Wisconsin plan here in just a little bit, but we've also are going to go into detail in this webinar on what is not included. So what you could upgrade to, like our brief pleadings, motions, and order content from state and federal trial courts across the US. But also we do a thorough deep dive into our Vincent AI tool. And so if you're interested in seeing that in action or learning more about Vincent AI and how that can benefit your practice, this would be a great webinar to join. Now, under our live training sessions here, we've got a few more video tutorials linked. These three that are embedded into this section are more for getting started. So to set up your account and start searching, you can review those videos. Again, those are also accessible from our knowledge base website if you wanted to find the resources there. But we also have all of our quick start videos linked here. These are shorter format videos, mostly a minute or 2 minutes long, to help you start learning and navigating the platform with ease. We've also listed all of our vLex videos here at the bottom too, so you can find our Vimeo page where we have all of our recordings. And then lastly, in our resource center here, we have our contact information. So you have the email to get in contact with our support team. You can reach them directly at helpdesk-us@vlex.com. So any research assistance or any general support questions, you can always reach out to them at helpdesk-us@vlex.com. And these are US-based support team members, and they're spread out across the US to best provide a large amount of time to answer any queries or questions or feedback you have about the platform. So please don't hesitate to reach out to them. Now, one other way you can start getting your questions answered and finding additional information about vLex and the vLex Fastcase platform is through our chat feature. So you have the ability to start a chat, but I did want to mention this is an automated chat, so it'll connect you with our AI assistant, who will then be able to provide you links, say for example, to our knowledge base website, or just generally answer your questions as it can. But if it cannot answer your question, it will actually connect you with one of our support team members as well. So if they can't answer, or if the AI assistant can't answer your question, then you'll be kicked over to our support team, who will be able to assist with your questions. And so that covers our resource center here. We'll go ahead and minimize that for now and then move into the vLex Fastcase platform. So to begin our tour, I'm going to first highlight the overlay, kind of where things live and where you'll be able to find them and navigate to other sections of the platform, starting with our navigational menu here. But then I'm also going to go into our top bar. And I'll go into more detail on some of these sections a little bit later on in the presentation, so don't feel like I'm skipping over anything. Now we're currently highlighted on the home page here. And just underneath the home page is our Vincent AI tool. And although the Vincent AI tool is not included in the State Bar of Wisconsin plan, it is a very powerful research tool, document analysis tool, and just general legal task assistant. Can do quite a lot of different tasks and help with creating or providing more time for you to give back to your clients and back to your practice. And you can actually start a 3-day trial if you would like to. no charge or anything for the trial, just to try that out to see if it's worth your time. But then underneath our Vincent AI button is the advanced search page. And I will do a deep dive into the advanced search page once we get to that section. But this is a form fill search, great way to get very specific or granular with your research needs. And then browsing. So browsing is quite simple here. You can go ahead and click on browse, where it'll open up our menu here, where you can begin by browsing by jurisdiction or jumping right into the content libraries. But say, for example, we wanted to find Wisconsin statutes. What we can do is click browse, statutes, and then scroll down here to find our jurisdiction. We've also got some previous editions here. So if you wanted to compare previous editions to the current edition, you can certainly do so. But you'll notice I'm filtering down into the sections here. And at a certain point, you will reach the end of the road for the browsing capability, and that'll be marked with this icon. So anytime you see this icon when you're browsing, if you click on any of these documents here, that's going to take you into the document level. So here we can find that statute or code section and any nearby subchapters. But if you wanted to keep searching, you can actually just click the back button and continue browsing. Now, one other thing I wanted to highlight in the statutes themselves here, if you want to find a list of cases that use this statute or cite to this statute, you can find those in the Cited In tab. So that was browse, and we'll continue on with our navigational menu here. Following the browse button is our folders. This is where our organizational tools come into play. We can find any favorited documents or just generally any folders that we create for ourselves here to stay organized and efficient. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on in the presentation. And then our help button here. So similar to our resource center, we have a link to our knowledge base website, and also our email address for our support team at helpdesk-us@vlex.com. And then lastly, in our navigational menu is a reminder that you're receiving access to this platform because of your membership with the State Bar of Wisconsin. And the State Bar of Wisconsin has provided a great plan for its members. It provides the vLex Fastcase United States Core Plan. And what that means is you have access to all 50 states and all federal primary materials. And by primary, I mean case law, statutes, regulations, rules, constitutions, and much, much more that you can search across all 50 jurisdictions and federally. So a great resource that they've provided to their membership and that you can search for right here in the vLex Fastcase platform. So that takes care of our navigational menu. And now I'm going to go ahead and move into our top bar here. Next to the vLex Fastcase logo is our history icon. So you'll see what looks like a watch face with a backwards arrow. And that is a great way to keep up with anything that you are searching for. Say, for example, you were searching for something previously. You can find the date and timestamp of when you were searching for that, along with a few more details about your search, and jump right back into either the search results or jump right into the document level. So great if you got to pause with what you're working on research related wise. Maybe you got a hearing or deposition to get to. You can pick up right where you've left off by navigating back to your history section. Now, next to our history section is our general search bar. So here it is a little bit different from Fastcase 7. Fastcase 7 search bar was right in the middle of the home page. All we've done is just move that up to the top here. So for general search queries, you can use this to search for cases by case name. If you have statutes that you want to find, you can use citations here. You can also use just natural language and even advanced operators. So pretty intuitive search bar to start searching and finding content in the platform. And we'll come back to show an example of searching using the general search bar here in just a moment. But just to the right of the general search bar is our jurisdictional selector. So right now it has United States selected. Since we have access to all 50 states material and all federal content, this would search across all 50 states and all federal. But if we wanted to minimize that to a specific jurisdiction, we could open this up and then find, maybe we only practice here in Wisconsin. We can select that and then apply that either as our default jurisdiction or apply that as a one-off search. So if you only practice in Wisconsin, you're only going to search for legal materials in the Wisconsin jurisdiction. I would recommend going ahead and saving Wisconsin as your default jurisdiction. But also maybe you practice in some federal courts. You can include related federal to the state of Wisconsin or jurisdiction of Wisconsin here by clicking the include related federal box there. And what that does is open it up to include additional federal courts and the appellate circuit. So get in those 7th Circuit appellate decisions here as well. But for our example today, we are not going to include related federal content. We are just going to search within the Wisconsin jurisdiction, and then we'll go ahead and hit apply. Then you'll notice it has updated now from United States to Wisconsin here. And that way, anything I search for in the general search bar will only be in the Wisconsin jurisdiction. Now, just to the right of the jurisdictional selector is our search icon. Easy enough to use your mouse to run your search. Just click on the search icon there to run a search after you've entered key terms or information into the general search box here. But you can also use the enter button on your keyboard to run that search as well. Then next to the search icon, another Vincent AI button, same as the one over here, just going to take you to the Vincent AI tool. And then lastly is our account drop-down menu. So here we can click the account icon to manage our language settings. If we wanted to adjust this, maybe English isn't our first language, we can change that to what best fits for us. And then we can manage our account generally here, and then even manage our alerts. So a little bit later in the presentation, I'm going to show you how you can create search alerts based off of your specific search criteria. So that way you receive email alerts anytime new content is added to the platform or to our platform that falls under that search criteria. Now, getting into our privacy and legal here, just an added level of security to the platform that we've included is the ability to stop history tracking for any of your sessions. So if you did not want to track any of your history for any sessions, you could simply click on the stop history tracking, and that would pause that from tracking here. Now, we've also provided our terms and conditions and privacy policy here underneath there for your review. And lastly is the ability to return to Fastcase 7. So although you can return to Fastcase 7 currently, we will be sunsetting access to the Fastcase 7 platform in the future. And all of you here today, you're a step ahead. You're learning how to navigate and search in the vLex Fastcase platform. So you'll be ready for whenever that date does arrive. But we'll be sure to work with the State Bar of Wisconsin, as well as make notifications here in the platform and the Fastcase 7 platform to make you aware of when that access is being turned off. We don't have a set date just yet, but that will be sunset in the future. All right, so that takes care of our navigational menu and our top bar there. Now let's go ahead and jump into the card section here on our homepage. So again, on the homepage, you'll see we're highlighted where we currently are in the platform. And I'm going to begin with breaking down the card section here. This is just a great way for us to push out messages and notifications to make you aware of certain things that we're offering. For example, the Vincent AI trial that you can sign up for there, but also some other tools and information. And these can actually change over time, so you may not always see the exact same cards here. You may see some different ones as we add new tools or features and we want to make you aware of them. Now, underneath the card section here is our personalized news feed. And it's personalized because you can actually customize what type of topics are being are generating here. So you'll notice we've got some smart topics, or hashtags is more likely what people refer to these as. We refer to them as smart topics, but similar to social media, if you click on any of these links or these hashtags here, that'll take you to a list of news material that is relevant to that topic. So the federal jurisdiction, or civil procedure, or real estate law. And this is customizable, as I mentioned. You can click on the Edit Your vLex here. That's going to open up a menu for you to then be able to select additional jurisdiction. So maybe we practice across state lines in Illinois. We can also add that content to populate here in addition to the Wisconsin jurisdiction that we already had selected. But not only can you search for practice areas, or excuse me, jurisdictions, you can search for practice areas as well. So here we can search for a practice area. Maybe we practice in patent law. We can add that to our smart topics, or maybe it's environmental law. You can easily add those to your smart topics categories to start receiving news related to those topics. Now, one important aspect here, I wanted to highlight that you will receive digest emails unless you adjust your preferences here over on the right-hand side. So if you do set these up and follow specific smart topics, make sure you adjust your preferences to what you would like. You can receive those once weekly or once daily, but then you can also just simply turn those off if you don't wish to receive any emails. And just to make sure you have saved your preferences here, once you've changed these, click on the Update Preferences button down at the bottom of this section. And now that we've started following additional smart topics here, you'll notice I'm starting to track those here. We've got the environmental law, we've got a patent law here, as well as the other categories that we were already following. All right, and that was the home page. So now let's go ahead and get into some searching on the platform. So we're going to begin with a pretty broad topic. We're just going to use a natural language search to start searching in the Wisconsin jurisdiction here. So what I'm going to do is begin typing. And you'll notice once I've typed in some keywords here, we are provided with some suggested searches and some suggested documents that may be related to what we're searching for. So ideally, if you type in a case name, it'll populate under the suggested documents here to allow you to quickly jump right to the document that you're looking for. But even if you're using natural language like I am in this example, you can actually also just click on any of these suggested searches, which will take you to our search results page. So you can begin navigating and continue filtering your search results based off of your natural language search. Now, I don't see what I'm looking for exactly here, so I'm going to continue typing. And we're going to search statute of limitations across the Wisconsin jurisdiction and see what we can populate as our results. All right, so now we are on our search results page. And the first thing that I wanted to highlight is how many results we've actually returned here. 12,000 plus results, that's quite a lot. But as you can imagine, with a broad search like statute of limitations without any sort of advanced operators or additional terms, it makes sense that we're returning this many results. But to help you start filtering and understanding how you can filter in the platform, let's go ahead and jump into adding additional terms to our search string by the search and results bar here. Now, obviously, you can also add additional terms to the general search bar and enter that and run a new search. If you wanted to produce more results here, or excuse me, more specific results here. But you can also search within the 12,000 plus results by adding additional terms to your search by using the search and results bar. So maybe, for example, we wanted to search, we want to add the term asbestos and include that in our statute of limitations term search. What we can do is type that out and then hit enter here, and that will add that term. And you can see we've drastically reduced our results from 12,000 plus to just over 70 results. And you can continue to add additional terms here, and you can even use advanced operators here. So once we get to the advanced search page, I'll highlight which advanced operators you can use in the search bar, in the general search bar, but you can also use those here in the search and results section as well. Now, as we continue with filtering and getting into different content, over on the left-hand side here, you'll notice that we have our different content libraries broken down. So if we wanted to find only cases that are relevant to the terms that we're looking for under Wisconsin jurisdiction, we can select the cases library. And now I have a list of cases only that include these terms. But maybe we are looking for statutes here, so you can find statutes related to that. But I'm going to keep it highlighted on cases here and continue scrolling down in this section here on the left to continue filtering. Now you can adjust your jurisdictions here. If you didn't correctly select the jurisdiction you wanted to up at the top, you can always adjust that here or just change it anytime by clicking the select more jurisdictions. It's going to open up the jurisdictional menu for you to manipulate that. But since I have cases selected currently, it will also allow me to search for a specific court here as well. So maybe we only are interested in Wisconsin Court of Appeals decisions. You can select that as the court, and that'll filter your results down even further. And to get even more granular, the cited authority section here, you can actually enter a piece of legislation or other case that you may want included in your document that you want it to cite to, that you can add those to your cited authorities, and that'll limit your results even further. And then lastly here is the ability to search for a specific date range, or generally use the sliders here to find a date range of cases or decisions that you're looking for. And if you click on the text over there, so rather than sliding it, you can actually enter an exact date if you wanted to. But if you expand this menu, the exactly on, you can select the since or range of dates and manually enter those here as well. So just to recap, we started with a general search using our general search bar here, and we entered statute of limitations. Now we've added a few more filters. We've added cases library. We've also added the Wisconsin Court of Appeals, and then we've also added the term asbestos here. So now we should be only getting documents that are more related to these filters. But say we wanted to go even further than that. What I would recommend is navigating to our advanced search page. But imagine we've started from searching from our general search bar here, and we wanted to migrate this general search that we've started on over to our advanced search page. So rather than clicking on the icon here, which is the magnifying glass for an advanced search, this would make us or require us to start from scratch. So we'd have to enter our terms, select cases and the Wisconsin jurisdiction. So instead of doing that, what we've done here is provide you with the option to take your search that you started on and migrate that over to the advanced search page by clicking on that link at the bottom of the left-hand side. So here we are now on the advanced search page, but you'll notice it has migrated over our information. So it's got our jurisdiction that we had selected. It also has our content library that we had selected with cases here. It took the words that we were entering and also the court as well. So again, just a great way to save a little bit of time rather than re-entering that into the keyword section. You can now migrate your search from the general search over to the advanced search from the search results page. Now with the content library here, this is going to actually manipulate the filters down at the bottom here. So you'll see we do have the ability to enter a specific date, or maybe we have a case name here, or the court as I've already highlighted. That's specific to cases, but if we change that to say statutes, it's going to change this filtering section to be most relevant to the specific content library that we had selected. Now let's get into the advanced operators. So to assist with searching and finding and getting granular with our research here, we've provided these few keywords searches, and I'm going to go through these one by one here to make sure you understand how these are used in the vLex Fastcase platform. Now the first section is all the words. So this operates like an AND search if you're familiar with Boolean operators. And what that means is it's going to, any terms that are entered into this search bar will, if they're populated in the document somewhere, that will populate as a relevant result. So it's not going to, not going to be the exact phrase here, statute of limitations, as long as the term statute is used or the term limitations or limitation or asbestos is used in the document somewhere, it'll populate as a relevant result if we use the all the words section. Let's say we wanted to get even more specific than that, and we have an exact phrase that we wanted to use. For example, if we only wanted documents that include the full phrase statute of limitations, we can use the exact phrase section, and that's a quotation mark search. And again, that'll just limit our results to only those that have the full phrase statute of limitations. Now, maybe we have an idea of terms that are nearby each other, but we're not sure of the exact phrase that they're in or that the court has used in its decision. So you can use this section, words in proximity, to add those terms here. For example, maybe we want to find nearby statute of limitations, but also asbestos. This allows us to search up to 20 terms either before or after each other here. So if asbestos was before statute within 20 words, that would also populate here as we're searching for them in proximity to one another. And then also we have the ability to use synonyms here. So this is an or search, the any word category. For example, if we're not sure which term was used in a decision to describe an action or anything like this, where we have gun and firearm, this will allow us to capture any results that use the term gun or firearm and won't limit those to one or the other. And then here at the bottom, or towards the bottom, is there or none of the words section. This is an exclusionary search, so it allows us to omit certain terms from populating in our search results. For example, maybe we didn't want the term tort to populate in our search. You can omit that from populating in the relevant documents by adding the terms here, and it's pretty intuitive. It'll pick up on if it's plural, etc. here. So torts and tort. That would omit those from populating. And then lastly is our advanced operators section. So as I mentioned, you can use advanced operators in the general search bar, but you can also conduct or create advanced operator strings here. And to find a list of all of the advanced operators that you can utilize in the platform, you can hover your mouse over the question mark next to the advanced operators section to find a list. So helpful little sheet here for you to reference and see how you can utilize those advanced operators to conduct unique search strings here or in our general search bar. Now, one last thing I wanted to highlight here on the advanced search page is the ability to save an alert. So if you recall from earlier, I mentioned you have the ability to create search alerts for yourself. I like to do them from the advanced search page just because it's easy to add additional filters and manipulate more information to best fit my preferred search. So I'm not getting a broad search alert and getting an email more than necessary. And to do that, at the very bottom of this section, and you can partially see it, but this says save as an alert here. Apologies, our get started button is in the way. If you click on save as an alert, that's going to take the search string that we've created here in the advanced search page and save that as an alert for us. Now, to find a list of our search alerts that we have created, if you recall from earlier in our training, the account drop-down menu here, and you can click on Manage Your Alerts, where now we can see the description of our search. So our advanced operators that we were using, the quotation marks for an exact phrase, statute of limitations, but excluding the term tort, what jurisdiction this was in, the content library, when that was created, and a few other fields that we can manipulate here for our specific preferences. To edit those, you can click on the edit button here and adjust the frequency of how you want to receive those. So if you want to receive every day emails, you can certainly do so. You can click daily, or once every day, Monday to Friday, or once weekly, or once monthly. And then you can also even include historical results as well. So not only are you getting a list of cases or documents that are the new information, you can also get a list of the previous historical results that fall under that search criteria as well. And then say we're no longer interested in following that and getting update alerts on this search string, we can simply delete that out by clicking the recycle bin and hitting OK there, and that'll remove it from our search alerts. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back into our search results now from our advanced search page here. Just make sure everything is set up correctly. We've got our Wisconsin jurisdiction with our cases library selected. We'll go ahead and move this a little bit here. We want to search for the exact phrase statute of limitations, but what I'm going to do here is also search for the term accrues somewhere nearby. All right, so now we are in the back to the search results page. Now I wanted to also mention that you can limit words in proximity searches as well. So you'll notice my word in proximity was in brackets here. To limit this, say for example, you wanted to find these terms less than 20 terms in between each other, you can use the backslash button and a number 1 through 20. So for example, we could use the \5 to find those terms within 5 words of each other rather than up to 20. And then before we get into the results here, there are a few tools that you can utilize here on the search results page, like our visualization of the top 50 results that I've populated here. Just going to put those in a graph based off of date and importance or number of citations to a case. But then we also have the ability to add documents to a folder here. So if we wanted to organize these and create a folder for ourselves, we can select the documents by using the checkboxes next to the document names and then clicking add to folder here. And then if you don't have any folders created, it will task you with creating a new folder here. And that's going to take these 3 documents and add those to the folder that we just created. Now you can also create an alert right from this page as well. So if you've used the general search bar to create your search string, you can create an alert for yourself here by clicking the icon. And then you can also click the download button here by selecting multiple documents. You can download the full documents if you wanted to with just your selected results, or we do provide the ability to download the top 50 results if you wanted to. It may take a little bit of time to download all of those, especially the full documents here. But also we have the ability to download search listings as well. So this may be useful if you're working with an associate or someone else who's assisting with your research. You can provide them with a list of documents that are somewhat related to maybe something that you're working on and have them go through and find the most relevant ones. And then getting into the results here, you can sort this information. So it defaults to sort by relevance. However, we can change this to the most recent information, the oldest information, and even the most cited content. So here we can select most cited here. And now it's ordering it by how many times that has been cited to. Now getting into the cases here themselves, You'll notice there's case names with a bit of the court information and citation information here, but also we highlight where the terms that you're searching for are in the document, just a portion of that in the document. But next to the case names, you'll see that we have some case information here, or some citator information. We have a few different indicators next to case names. And this is treatment information, so it'll let you know whether a case may have any sort of negative treatment to it, such as this one, for example. This case was overruled. It's marked with our red indicator, so that just indicates any negative treatment type with our overruled description. But this could also say vacated, reversed, or abrogated as well. And to find additional details on the cert information, you can find where that case was overruled, and also the list of citations to the case as well, and the last time it was cited to. So that's a negative treatment. It would be indicated with red and then a descriptor. But we also have some other treatment types. We have orange treatment type, which I don't see any in this list here. There's another negative. Orange, if you see an orange treatment type, that just means it's a questioned treatment. So maybe a case has been criticized or disagreed with, or someone has declined to follow that opinion, or even if it's being appealed to a higher court, it would also signify that with an orange treatment indicator. But then we also have one other. It's a yellow treatment type. So it's a positive treatment. It'll have a yellow indicator with the term distinguished next to it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the document level now. We'll take a look at this Hansen v. A.H. Robbins case here. And now we are on the document level. So in the document level, you have the case name or document name that you're searching. If there's any citator information, it'll be right to the right of that. But we're going to first focus on the document tab here. You have a few other tabs listed here, but we're going to first focus on the document level, starting with the ability to search in this document. So if we wanted to find specific terms that are populated in our document, you can search for those by using the search bar here, and then find where they live in the document. So quite handy here to, if you've got a rather large document, to only pull out those specific key terms that you're looking to learn more about, and how that case is discussing that term or using that term. And it puts it in a paragraph setting, so you can read the paragraph, but then also you can go right to that passage to continue reading if you wanted to as well. Now, underneath our search in this document bar is the table of contents here. So again, helpful if you've got a rather large document with a lot of sections. You can jump right to the different categories of the text for quick navigation. But then we're going to go ahead and move now into the core of the document. So all of the important information that you'll need and you'll be looking for. So starting with the top box here, all of your important data, like our decision date, the citation, and any parallel citations as well that you can copy to your clipboard, the court that this was heard in, the docket numbers, and even the party's information as well. Now, just below that is our case analysis section. And this is, again, just a great time saver. It's powered by our Vincent AI tool. So this is a sneak peek into just some of what Vincent can do. And this is included on all of our cases. So no matter what case you go to, you should always have the Vincent AI case analysis here. And this is to quickly identify a few details from the case and what was being discussed, such as the legal issue, the head notes, any key paragraphs or key phrases. And on key paragraphs, you can actually turn these on and off. So if when you scroll through the document, if you have these highlighted, turn on, you'll see there is a light blue highlight over certain sections of text. If you turn those off, that will remove those highlights from the document. But also, you'll notice on the right-hand side of my screen, we have the ability to turn these on and off. and you'll see where we can actually click on these dark or different blue shaded boxes here. The darker the color blue means that that specific paragraph has been cited to more often. So this really dark blue one down here, that's going to be probably our most key paragraph from the document. And if you click on it, it'll take you right to where that lives in the document here. So say we're reading this and it resonates with us. What we can do is click on the section of text to populate a list of subsequent quotations of that passage. So we can start to expand our research and find how other cases are discussing and using that passage as well. It's really quite useful here. Now let's start getting into the organizational features here on the document level. You can actually hover your mouse, or excuse me, left click and drag your mouse over a section of text here. And as soon as you let go of your mouse click, it'll open a new menu here for you to then create your own highlights or even your own notes here. And that's going to turn it a different color. So if you highlight, it'll turn it more of a turquoise-ish or a blue-green color. And then it'll populate any of your notes that you've created or highlights under your table of contents. So easy enough to navigate and find your notes and highlights from the document level. Even if you log out of the platform and back into it, you'll still be able to see any notes that you have here or highlights that you've created in the document level until you clear those out. To clear them, you can hit the X button here next to the highlight or note. Now, a few document tools here we have up at the top right is the ability to save this as a favorite. So if you have a document that you reference quite often, you can save that as a favorite. That way you can quickly access that document from your favorites folder in the folders category. But then you also have the ability to add that document to a folder or to a new folder if you wanted to, right from the document level. Maybe we wanted to create a subfolder under the one we've already made. We can certainly do that. And then we also have some print options here. So if you click on the print icon, you'll notice we have the ability to format into dual columns for case law here. So this was a really popular feature from Fastcase 7, and we've added that to the vLex Fastcase platform as well. But you have a few other text options as well when you're printing. And then sharing as well, so you can share via social media or email. And a quick note about if you email a document from vLex Fastcase, that's going to send them a link to the vLex Fastcase platform. So you would only be able to really share that or email over to other bar members or other members who have access to the vLex Fastcase platform. However, you do have the ability to provide a link. Say if you wanted to share this with a client who would not have access to the vLex Fastcase platform, you can use the copy link to page, which will send an accessible option of the case text to your clients. And then we also have the ability to download. We have two different formats. You can download to PDF or to Microsoft Word here. Just click the download button there. And then the last few things here, and then we'll get into some questions, but the other tabs. So next to the document tab is our cited authorities tab. So if you want to find a list of cited authorities from within the document that you're on, so in this case, we can find all of the different case law and legislation that has been cited. You can find a list of that information here. But then you can also find a list of cases that are citing to the Hansen v. A.H. Robbins matter as well. And then lastly here, our second to last is our precedent map, where we're just taking these two different categories and putting them into a visual representation for you. So you can start to see how these cases are interacting with each other. And I'll break this down for you so you know exactly what it is you're looking at here. The blue center circle represents the Hansen v. A.H. Robbins case. And that means anything on the inside of that circle is going to be your cited authorities. And again, you can click on any of these to see how they're citing to one another if you wanted to. Since these are the cited authorities on the inside of the circle, that would mean that these on the outside are our cited in information. So any cases that are cited to the Hansen v. A.H. Robinson matter. And then lastly is our related tab. So this is just another way where we're providing or harnessing the powers of our Vincent AI tool to provide you with a list of cases or suggested reading materials that may be relevant to the information in the Hansen v. A.H. Robbins case. So just again, just different ways to find other materials that may be relevant to your search. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at folders here quickly. As I mentioned, any favorites that you've created will be in your favorites folder. You got the one that we saved earlier, but then also any documents you've made marks on. So any notes that you've created in documents will live under documents with marks, where we can quickly navigate to those materials. And then obviously the folder that we created as well, and any documents that we put into them. We can delete these out if we wanted to. So we can select the document name and delete that, which will put it in our trash bin, or we can also select the title and recycle that back into our folder if we wanted to as well. And that was the vLex Fastcase introduction. So now I'm going to go ahead and move over to our slideshow and end with our contact information, as I mentioned, and then get into some questions. So here, just wanted to mention any issues or concerns or questions going forward, feel free to reach out to our support team at the helpdesk-us@vlex.com. But also any questions about upgrades or sales inquiries, you can reach out directly to our sales team there about anything that I may have covered in general. But then also, I'm a personal resource, as I mentioned. So if you have any questions, feedback, issues, whatever it is, happy to relay that or provide an answer to you to the best of my ability. But for the most efficient response, I would recommend going through our help desk email so they can get back to you as quickly and as accurately as possible. All right, so let's go ahead and open up some questions here. We've got just a few minutes left. To apologize for running over just a little bit here. First question is, when is the vLex mobile app coming to the USA in the Apple App Store? So that is a great question. I've had similar inquiries in the past. I don't have a great answer for this, unfortunately, but I do think it would be quite convenient to have a mobile app in the App Store. But you can actually just generally go to the web on your phone or mobile device and access vLex Fastcase through the BAR website there as well. Someone has mentioned or asked, is there a separate login for vLex if we access directly via the web versus from Wisconsin BAR? Unfortunately, no, there is not. Since we are partnered with the Wisconsin BAR, you would need to log into the BAR website to access the member benefit. And then someone has asked, can others who are not members of the state bar get access to this tool? Yes, you do have the ability to create vLex and add people to seats. So even though they are not bar members, we would be open to discussing, adding paralegal access for your firm or other members who may not have access to the Wisconsin bar to access the actual benefit of the vLex Fastcase platform. So if you're wanting to explore that, I would recommend reaching out to our sales team or to me. Happy to provide more information on that and what that looks like. The only difference is it would be a paid account rather than receiving that through your benefits with the bar. And then someone has mentioned they were trying to update an old email address that they see in their profile. Yeah, so if you wanted to update your email address, the best way to do so is going to be by reaching out to our help desk email, just letting them know, hey, I'm trying to update the email address. And what's most helpful is if you provide them with the old email address that you're trying to change to and the new email address. So make sure you provide both the old email and the new email that you want that changed to, and our support team will be able to update that for you. Someone has mentioned, how do you enter more than one term in the proximity search bar? So with that, you can just continue adding additional terms in that proximity search bar. You have the ability to enter additional terms there. As I didn't use it in my specific example, but you can certainly do so by just generally typing in additional information. And we are right at the end of our hour here. We've got a few more questions. And I apologize I didn't get to all of the questions, but if you want to learn more about the vLex Fastcase platform and its products, I'm happy to be a resource to you, as I mentioned, or any of the contact information that I've already shared here on the screen. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We look forward to getting in touch with you and providing you with helpful information. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. But with that, thank you all so much for taking the time to join us today. Greatly appreciate your attention. Hopefully you've been able to take away some good information from the webinar today. And yeah, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and have a great rest of your afternoons.